Today I want to talk about something we all face at some point in our lives, the sting of intentional hurt. Those moments when someone deliberately inflicts pain upon us. It's a harsh reality, but one that can teach us profound lessons about ourselves, others, and the world. When someone hurts you intentionally, it's natural to feel as though the pain is a direct attack on who you are. However, more often than not, their behavior is less about you and more about them. This perspective can be transformative, allowing you to step back and evaluate the situation with clarity and compassion rather than internalizing the hurt. While it's impossible to justify their actions, understanding their motivations can help alleviate some of the emotional burden that such experiences bring. People who intentionally hurt others are often dealing with their own unresolved struggles. They may carry insecurities, fears, or feelings of inadequacy that drive them to act in harmful ways. For some, the only way they know how to cope with their pain is to project it onto others. It's a flawed defense mechanism, but one that's unfortunately common. They might see someone who is thriving, content, or at peace, and instead of addressing their own pain, choose to target that person as a way to temporarily distract themselves from their struggles. In such instances, their actions are more of a mirror reflecting their inner turmoil than a measure of your worth. Consider this: if someone is in a good place emotionally, they rarely feel the need to hurt others. Healthy individuals who are secure in themselves and their relationships tend to uplift, support, and encourage those around them. On the other hand, those who feel threatened, neglected, or misunderstood are more likely to lash out. This doesn't excuse their actions, but it sheds light on the deeper issues that might be fueling their behavior. It's not you they are truly attacking, it's their perception of what you represent to them. For instance, a co-worker might undermine your efforts not because you're inadequate, but because they fear your success might highlight their own shortcomings. A friend might spread hurtful gossip about you not because they dislike you, but because they feel insecure about their own standing in the group. In both cases, the intention to hurt comes from their internal struggles rather than any genuine fault of yours. Recognizing this can shift the narrative. You stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start seeing the situation for what it is, a projection of someone else's pain. This understanding doesn't mean you have to tolerate intentional harm. Recognizing that their actions aren't about you allows you to separate yourself emotionally, making it easier to respond constructively rather than reacting impulsively. It empowers you to set boundaries to protect your well-being and to decide how much space you allow such people to occupy in your life. Their pain might explain their behavior, but it doesn't justify their right to hurt you. You owe it to yourself to prioritize your emotional health and peace. What's important to remember is that you cannot control someone else's actions, but you can control how you interpret and respond to them. Internalizing their behavior only gives them more power over your emotions. By realizing that their actions are not a reflection of your value, you reclaim your power. You shift from being a victim of their hurt to being an observer of their struggles. This perspective allows you to approach the situation with compassion, not necessarily for them, but for yourself. When someone intentionally hurts you, it's almost always more about them than it is about you. Their actions stem from their unresolved issues, insecurities, and struggles rather than anything you've done. Understanding this doesn't mean condoning their behavior, but it provides you with the clarity to separate their pain from your self-worth. By acknowledging this truth, you free yourself from the weight of their actions, allowing you to heal, grow, and move forward with strength and confidence. When someone hurts you intentionally, one of the most vital steps in healing is to allow yourself to acknowledge and process your emotions fully. Pain, anger, confusion, and sadness are natural responses to being wronged, and denying these feelings only delays your ability to move forward. Many people feel pressure to suppress their emotions, fearing that showing vulnerability might be perceived as weakness or that the hurt will somehow consume them. However, bottling up your feelings only buries them deeper, where they can fester and emerge in destructive ways. Acknowledging your emotions starts with giving yourself permission to feel them. If someone has wronged you, it's natural to feel hurt, betrayed, or even furious. These emotions don't make you weak or overly sensitive, they make you human. Often society encourages people to stay strong or let it go, which can inadvertently suggest that feeling pain is wrong. But denying your emotions doesn't make them disappear, it simply postpones the inevitable. By confronting and accepting what you feel, you take the first step toward healing. For many, this process begins with self-reflection. Instead of suppressing or dismissing your emotions, take the time to sit with them. Ask yourself questions like, what am I feeling right now? Why does this hurt so much? What does this say about my needs or boundaries? Answering these questions helps you unpack the layers of your pain, making it easier to understand why the hurt feels so personal and profound. It might reveal unmet expectations, unresolved insecurities, or areas of your life where you need to set firmer boundaries. Acknowledging your emotions also requires vulnerability, which can feel uncomfortable. For some, this involves talking to a trusted friend or journaling your thoughts to better articulate what you're going through. Sharing your pain doesn't mean seeking pity, it's about allowing yourself to be seen and supported. It can be as simple as saying, "This really hurt me, and I'm struggling to process it." By voicing your emotions, you release some of the weight they carry. Another key aspect of processing your emotions is giving yourself time. Healing is not linear, and you cannot force yourself to get over the hurt quickly. Some days will feel lighter, while others might bring back the sting of what happened. This is normal. Allowing yourself to go through these ups and downs without judgment is part of the journey. Emotions are like waves, they rise, peak, and eventually ebb. Resisting them only makes them feel stronger, while accepting them allows them to pass naturally. Acknowledging your emotions doesn't mean dwelling on them forever. It's about finding a balance between feeling your pain and not letting it define you. If the hurt becomes overwhelming or starts to interfere with your daily life, seeking professional help can be a valuable step. Therapists and counselors are trained to help you navigate intense emotions and develop strategies for healing. Reaching out for support is a sign of strength, not weakness. When you allow yourself to feel your emotions fully, you also create space for growth and resilience. Pain, as uncomfortable as it is, can be a teacher. It shows you what matters to you, where your boundaries lie, and how you want to be treated moving forward. By confronting your emotions instead of avoiding them, you develop a deeper understanding of yourself and your needs. This self-awareness becomes a powerful tool for navigating future challenges. In acknowledging your emotions when someone hurts you intentionally is not just a step toward healing, it's an act of self-compassion. By allowing yourself to feel, reflect, and process, you honor your humanity and give yourself the space to heal authentically. Suppressing emotions may seem easier in the short term, but true healing requires vulnerability and time. By embracing your feelings, you not only release the weight of the hurt, but also pave the way for greater strength, understanding, and emotional freedom in the future. When someone intentionally hurts you, it can feel like a violation of your emotional and personal space. One of the most important ways to protect yourself from repeated harm is by setting boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible lines that define what you are willing to accept and where you draw the line to safeguard your emotional and mental well-being. While it may seem difficult or even confrontational, especially if you're dealing with someone close to you, setting boundaries is an act of self-respect and self-care. Often, being hurt is a signal that boundaries were either crossed or not clearly established. You might not have realized the need for boundaries until someone's actions made it clear. Whether the harm came in the form of harsh words, betrayal, manipulation, or disrespect, it's essential to recognize that you have the power to decide how much access others have to your energy, time, and emotions. Boundaries are not about shutting people out. They are about creating a framework within which relationships can thrive without compromising your well-being. To set boundaries, the first step is understanding what you need. Ask yourself, what behaviors hurt me? What am I no longer willing to tolerate? What do I need from this person or situation to feel safe and respected? For example, if someone constantly belittles you, a boundary might involve telling them that you won't engage in conversations where you are disrespected. If someone regularly takes advantage of your kindness, the boundary could involve limiting how much time or help you offer. Identifying your needs allows you to articulate your boundaries with clarity and confidence. Communicating boundaries can be uncomfortable, especially if you fear conflict or upsetting the other person. However, it's important to remember that setting boundaries is not about punishing others, it's about protecting yourself. When expressing a boundary, focus on statements that emphasize your feelings and needs without blaming the other person. For instance, instead of saying, "You're always so disrespectful," you might say, "I feel hurt when I'm spoken to in that way, and I need our conversations to be more respectful moving forward." Clear, calm communication reduces the likelihood of defensiveness and helps others understand your perspective. Enforcing boundaries is just as crucial as setting them. There will be instances where people test your limits, whether intentionally or unintentionally. When this happens, it's essential to stand firm. Consistency sends a message that you take your boundaries seriously, and over time, it teaches others how to treat you. For example, if you've set a boundary about not tolerating hurtful language, but someone continues to use it, you might choose to end the conversation or limit your interaction with them. Enforcing boundaries isn't always easy, but it's a necessary step in preserving your self-respect. It's also important to remember that boundaries are not one size fits all. They may vary depending on the relationship and situation. You might set stricter boundaries with someone who has repeatedly hurt you, while being more flexible with those who have shown they respect and value your needs. Adjusting your boundaries over time is natural as relationships evolve and as you grow more attuned to what you need to feel safe and valued. Boundaries are not just about keeping others in check, they're also about holding yourself accountable. Part of respecting your own boundaries involves recognizing when you're allowing others to overstep them. Sometimes we compromise our boundaries out of guilt, fear, or a desire to please others. While it's okay to make exceptions occasionally, consistently ignoring your boundaries can lead to resentment and emotional exhaustion. Staying true to your boundaries requires self-awareness and a commitment to prioritizing your well-being. In setting boundaries is an essential response to intentional hurt. It's not about building walls to isolate yourself, but about creating a safe space where you can thrive emotionally and mentally. Boundaries empower you to take control of your relationships and interactions, ensuring that you are treated with respect and dignity. While the process may feel challenging, especially at first, it is a powerful act of self-love and self-protection. By defining and enforcing your boundaries, you take an essential step toward healing, growth, and creating a life filled with meaningful and healthy connections. When someone hurts you intentionally, the immediate instinct might be to react impulsively, driven by anger, pain, or frustration. The desire to retaliate or make them feel the same pain you experienced is a natural emotional response. However, how you choose to respond holds the power to shape the situation and your own healing process. Choosing your response wisely is not about suppressing your emotions, but about rising above the hurt in a way that empowers you and protects your peace. Reacting impulsively often leads to escalation. Harsh words, revenge, or confrontational actions may provide temporary satisfaction, but can prolong the conflict and deepen emotional wounds. Retaliation often leaves you stuck in a cycle of negativity, allowing the person who hurt you to maintain control over your emotions. Instead of resolving the situation or finding closure, it often creates further misunderstanding and pain. To truly heal and move forward, it's essential to pause and approach the situation with intentionality and clarity. Taking a moment to step back can be a powerful tool. When you pause, you allow yourself the space to process your emotions and think through the consequences of your actions. This is not about ignoring the hurt or pretending it doesn't matter. It's about giving yourself time to regain your composure and perspective. A calm mind is more capable of making decisions that align with your long-term well-being rather than reacting based on fleeting emotions. One way to respond wisely is to evaluate the situation objectively. Consider the intent behind the person's actions. Was their behavior truly malicious, or was it a reflection of their own struggles, insecurities, or misunderstandings? Sometimes, people hurt others not because they intend to, but because they lack the emotional maturity to handle their own feelings constructively. Understanding the root cause of their behavior can help you decide how to approach the situation. In some cases, a direct and calm conversation can be a powerful response. Addressing the hurt with honesty and clarity allows you to express your feelings without resorting to aggression. For example, saying, "I felt really hurt by what you said, and I'd like to understand why you said it," opens the door for dialogue rather than confrontation. Such conversations might not always lead to an apology or resolution, but they allow you to communicate your perspective and take control of the narrative. Choosing your response wisely doesn't always mean engaging with the person who hurt you. Sometimes, the best response is no response at all. Walking away from the situation or distancing yourself from the individual can be the healthiest choice, particularly if they show no remorse or continue to exhibit harmful behavior. Protecting your peace and emotional well-being is more important than trying to gain validation or closure from someone who may not be capable of providing it. Forgiveness is another wise response that can free you from the burden of anger and resentment. Forgiving someone doesn't mean condoning their behavior or allowing them back into your life. It's about releasing the hold their actions have over you. When you forgive, you reclaim your emotional power and create space for healing. It's an act of strength and self-compassion that prioritizes your peace over the pain inflicted by someone else. Ultimately, choosing your response wisely is about aligning your actions with your values and long-term goals. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be? How can I handle this situation in a way that reflects my strength, dignity, and integrity? By focusing on your own growth and resilience, you transform a painful experience into an opportunity for empowerment. While the hurt inflicted by others may not be within your control, your response always is. Reacting impulsively may provide temporary satisfaction, but often leads to further pain. By taking the time to process your emotions, approach the situation calmly, and act in alignment with your values, you reclaim your power and protect your peace. Choosing your response wisely is not just about handling the immediate situation, it's about paving the way for healing, growth, and a stronger sense of self. Forgiveness is one of the most difficult yet transformative responses to intentional hurt. When someone deliberately causes you pain, the natural reaction is often anger, resentment, or even a desire for revenge. These feelings are valid and understandable, but they can also be corrosive if they are held onto for too long. Choosing to forgive doesn't mean you forget what happened or condone the behavior. It means that you are releasing the hold that the situation or person has over your emotional state, allowing you to reclaim your peace and emotional freedom. Forgiveness is a process, not a one-time decision. At first, it can seem like an impossible task. The person who hurt you might have broken your trust or caused you pain in ways that are difficult to overlook. In these moments, forgiveness might feel like a betrayal of yourself or a way of excusing their harmful behavior. However, forgiveness is not about minimizing what happened, it's about freeing yourself from the emotional burden that resentment places on you. Holding on to anger and hurt often keeps you tethered to the person or event that caused the pain, and in doing so, you give them power over your emotional state long after the incident. Letting go of this anger does not excuse their actions, but it helps you take back control of your life and emotions. One of the most important aspects of forgiveness is recognizing that it is for your benefit, not the other person's. Many people mistakenly believe that forgiveness is about letting the wrongdoer off the hook or offering them absolution. In reality, forgiveness is about healing yourself. When you forgive, you release the negative emotions that have built up and begin to make space for peace, growth, and emotional resilience. This doesn't mean you have to reconcile with the person who hurt you or allow them back into your life. It simply means you're no longer carrying the emotional weight of their actions. By forgiving, you allow yourself to move forward, unburdened by the past. It's also important to understand that forgiveness doesn't happen overnight. It is a journey that requires time, self-compassion, and patience. At times, you may feel that forgiveness is out of reach, or you might have moments where the anger or pain resurfaces. This is normal. The key is not to force yourself to forgive immediately, but to start with a willingness to do so. Begin by acknowledging your feelings without judgment. Allow yourself to be angry or hurt, but also recognize that holding on to those emotions indefinitely will not bring you peace. Over time, the intensity of your feelings may lessen, and you may find that you can forgive not because you have to, but because you choose to. The process of forgiving is an act of self-care, and it requires ongoing reflection and understanding of your emotional needs. Forgiveness is also a powerful tool for personal growth. It allows you to practice empathy and compassion, not just for others, but for yourself as well. When you forgive, you give yourself the space to heal and move forward, which leads to a deeper understanding of your own emotional resilience. Forgiveness teaches you that, while you cannot control the actions of others, you have the power to choose how you react to them. By forgiving, you acknowledge your strength and your capacity to rise above the hurt and rise even stronger. Forgiveness is not about forgetting or excusing intentional harm. It is about freeing yourself from the emotional hold that resentment and anger have on your life. By forgiving, you reclaim your peace, prioritize your well-being, and create space for personal growth. It is a difficult, ongoing process, but one that offers immense rewards in terms of emotional freedom and inner strength. When you choose to forgive, you empower yourself to heal and move forward, leaving the past behind and stepping into a future defined by resilience, compassion, and peace. When someone intentionally hurts you, it can feel like a deeply unsettling experience. It may shake your sense of trust, confidence, or self-worth. Yet it is also an opportunity for growth. Transforming pain into personal development is not always easy, but it is one of the most empowering ways to respond to intentional harm. The hurt you experience can become a catalyst for learning, strengthening your emotional resilience, and deepening your understanding of yourself and the world around you. Pain, while inherently uncomfortable, has the potential to be a powerful teacher. It shows you where your vulnerabilities lie and highlights the areas in your life that might need healing or strengthening. If someone intentionally harms you, it may reveal aspects of your boundaries, expectations, or emotional triggers that you were previously unaware of. For instance, if a friend betrays your trust, it might prompt you to reassess how much trust you place in others and what healthy, realistic expectations you should set in your relationships. This understanding helps you make better decisions moving forward, ensuring you are more equipped to handle similar situations with greater awareness and preparedness. In addition to helping you identify and heal vulnerabilities, the process of overcoming hurt can foster emotional strength. Every time you navigate through pain, you develop more resilience. It's akin to building muscle. Your emotional strength grows the more you confront and work through challenging situations. As you go through the process of healing, you learn how to better regulate your emotions, set healthier boundaries, and cope with adversity in a way that doesn't compromise your mental well-being. Over time, these experiences shape you into a person who is more balanced, aware, and self-assured. Growth in the face of hurt also involves understanding the broader context of human interactions. When someone intentionally harms you, you might initially be consumed by thoughts of why they did it or how unfair it is. But over time, you may come to understand that their actions stem from their own limitations, pain, or struggles. By seeing the situation from a more empathetic perspective, you free yourself from a cycle of resentment and blame. This shift in perspective helps you not only understand the hurtful behavior, but also develop greater compassion not just for others, but also for yourself. Moreover, transforming pain into growth requires you to cultivate a mindset that embraces challenges as opportunities for self-improvement. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of someone else's actions, view the situation as an invitation to become a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. This mindset shift doesn't deny the hurt or invalidate your feelings, but empowers you to transcend the pain by focusing on how you can grow from it. It's about realizing that, although you cannot control the actions of others, you have complete agency over how you respond and the lessons you choose to extract from the experience. The process of transforming pain into growth also involves building emotional intelligence. This means recognizing and understanding your emotions, being able to manage them, and using them to make decisions that serve your highest good. When you experience hurt, it can be easy to let your emotions cloud your judgment or dictate your actions. However, as you practice emotional intelligence, you gain more control over your reactions, enabling you to handle challenging situations with grace and maturity. By embracing this emotional awareness, you ensure that future pain does not derail your sense of self or your path to personal growth. The pain caused by someone intentionally hurting you does not have to define your future. Rather than allowing the hurt to diminish you, use it as a stepping stone for personal development. Pain reveals vulnerabilities, builds resilience, fosters empathy, and strengthens emotional intelligence. The more you practice transforming pain into growth, the more empowered and self-aware you become. Each experience of hurt becomes an opportunity to evolve, enabling you to face future challenges with greater wisdom, strength, and peace. Through this process, you learn that healing is not just about recovery, it's about growth, resilience, and ultimately becoming a more complete version of yourself. When someone intentionally hurts you, it often leads to feelings of betrayal, disappointment, or even confusion. One of the most crucial aspects of healing from this kind of hurt is to maintain a sense of self-worth. The actions of others, no matter how hurtful, do not define your value as a person. While it can be challenging to separate your sense of self from the pain caused by another's behavior, doing so is essential for emotional recovery and growth. Reaffirming your self-worth after being hurt is not just about regaining your confidence, it's about realizing that you are not at the mercy of others' opinions or actions. Self-worth comes from within. It is built on a foundation of self-love, acceptance, and recognition of your inherent value, regardless of external circumstances. When someone intentionally hurts you, it can feel as though your value is being questioned or diminished. The words or actions of others can sting, especially if they attack aspects of your character or integrity. However, it's important to remember that the behavior of others is a reflection of them, not of you. Someone who intentionally causes pain may be dealing with their own issues, insecurities, or struggles which have nothing to do with your worth as a person. To maintain a strong sense of self-worth after being hurt, it's essential to practice self-compassion. This means being kind to yourself during moments of vulnerability or pain. Instead of criticizing yourself for feeling hurt or for struggling with the emotional aftermath, offer yourself the same understanding and care you would offer a close friend. Remind yourself that it's okay to feel upset, angry, or betrayed, and that your feelings are valid. Self-compassion helps you navigate the emotional storm without allowing it to undermine your self-esteem. It's a gentle acknowledgement that while you may have been hurt, you are not defined by the hurtful actions of others. In addition to practicing self-compassion, it's important to engage in activities and relationships that reinforce your sense of value. Surround yourself with people who uplift and support you, people who recognize your worth and show you the respect and love you deserve. Positive, affirming relationships are essential for building and maintaining a healthy sense of self-worth. When you are surrounded by people who care for you, it serves as a reminder that you are loved, valued, and worthy of respect. These relationships act as a counterbalance to the hurtful behavior of others, offering a safe space for you to heal and regain your confidence. Another way to reaffirm your self-worth is by practicing positive self-talk. Often, when we are hurt, we may internalize negative messages about ourselves. You might think, "I must have done something wrong," or "I'm not worthy of respect." These self-critical thoughts only fuel feelings of inadequacy and low self-worth. Challenging these thoughts and replacing them with positive affirmations is a powerful tool for reinforcing your value. Instead of focusing on the actions of the person who hurt you, remind yourself of your strengths, your accomplishments, and the qualities that make you unique and worthy of love and respect. Maintaining a sense of self-worth also involves setting healthy boundaries and asserting your needs. When someone intentionally hurts you, it can be tempting to minimize the situation or excuse their behavior, especially if you care about them. However, by tolerating mistreatment, you send the message that you don't value yourself enough to stand up for your needs. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect, and it reinforces your sense of worth. When you communicate your limits clearly and assertively, you take control of your emotional space and demonstrate that you deserve to be treated with dignity and care. Maintaining a sense of self-worth in the face of intentional harm is a critical step in healing. While the hurt caused by others can be painful, it does not diminish your value as a person. By practicing self-compassion, surrounding yourself with supportive relationships, engaging in positive self-talk, and setting healthy boundaries, you affirm your worth and protect your emotional well-being. Remember, you are not defined by the hurt others cause you. Your value is inherent and unshakable. Through these actions, you regain your confidence, protect your self-esteem, and emerge stronger, more resilient, and more aligned with your true worth.